Good morning, happy Friday. Guys, on my way to work, but I had to get this out, I had to get this video out because it was pressing me, guys. It was pressing on me. So before I deep dive and get all in the crevice of this video right here, guys, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please do all of those things for me because it helps my channel grow. And if you do not have your notification bell on, please stop by that and turn the notification bell on so that you can know when I am dropping new videos. And I shouldn't have said please with that much emphasis on it because I almost sound like I'm begging, but I am not, guys. So let's get into it. I've been talking to a lot of people that are close to me, and we have been talking, about stuff that's going on, playing catch up. Well, I was talking to one of my close friends, and we were talking about some past situations that had happened to us. And I had this revelation of the fact that a lot of times we don't have the life that we want to have, as far as we don't have the type of love that we want, we don't have the success that we want, we don't have the peace and all of that we want, simply because of unforgiveness. And unforgiveness comes in layers. The very first person, when you go on this journey of forgiveness, the very first person that you need to forgive is yourself. Because 99.9% of the time, we are catapulted into situations that we had nothing to do with. We are left to figure it out. We were left to solve this problem that was thrusted upon us. We had nothing to do with it. So after you forgive yourself, the next is starting to forgive the people and the situation that you was catapulted in. Because holding on to hate and holding on to grudges is just like you drinking poison waiting for the other person to get sick. That sounds crazy, dude, because you know doggone well that if you're drinking the poison, you're the one that's going to get sick. That's unforgiveness. That's the same as unforgiveness. Because the people who have done whatever it is that they did, they're walking around with their life just fine. They probably didn't forget what they did, who they did it to, not even thinking about it. They wasn't even thinking about it in the form of while they was doing it. But you're walking around upset, holding grudges and mad at the world, and they're going on living their life, and then you're sitting there even more upset at them because you're like, wait a minute, don't they know I'm mad at them? Why are they having such a good time? Unforgiveness. And the fact of the matter is that if you want the life that you believe or that you really want to have, then you got to do the work. And forgiving people is the first step at that. Now, disclaimer, I am not a psychologist, I am not a philosopher, I'm not none of that. I'm just a woman with an opinion. If you care to listen to it, then fine. If you don't, go ahead, exit stage left. But taking the time to do the work to forgive people is not for them. The forgiveness is for you because it is a freeing feeling. It is a empowering feeling. And you will know that you have 100% forgiven when the mere mention or thought of that person or situation does not anger you anymore. And yeah, a lot of times you got to forgive situations too. because most of the time, the person that catapults you into a situation is yourself. Ooh, y'all look crooked. Let me fix y'all. There we go. So, hence in forgiving yourself and the situation. So let me be a little transparent with y'all. When you start to work, you're going to have thoughts, and you're going to have memories, and you're going to have all type of incidents to come up that you forgot about, because there's still, every time that you go through something and you don't 100% deal with it, there's residue left. And what do I mean by residue? Okay, glad you asked. Let me give you an example. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to another one of my friends, and we were talking about trauma. And we were talking about the first time we recognize or feel like, we have been in some trauma. I had a memory to come up that I had completely forgot about, y'all. Like, when I tell y'all that I completely forgot about it, it had been etched out of my memory. And this is a twofold of how I had to go back and forgive all the way back, that far. So I cannot remember how old I was, but I had to be somewhere between like 8 or 10, somewhere 11, 12, somewhere up in there. I probably was 11, somewhere up in there. My mother would take me over to my great aunt's house. And my great aunt lived in this house, kind of like an apartment, where it was a communal bathroom. So her bathroom was down the hall. She had a kitchen, she had a front room, and she had a 1-bedroom. And you had to go down the hall to the bathroom. So, first of all, guys, nobody told me, when you're using the bathroom in other people's houses, or, not at home, make sure you lock the bathroom door. I was not told that at that young age, because, when you use the bathroom in your house, you don't lock the door. And the only person that would come in the bathroom would be my mom. And she'd be like, So I went over to my great aunt's house to go use the bathroom. And my great aunt, she had an older neighbor. Now this man had to be well over in his 70s or something, 50s, 70s, something like that. So while I was sitting there using the bathroom, Kids gonna keep on fixing y'all, because my stand is not that sturdy, but get into the lesson, not the angles. So I was in there using the bathroom, didn't lock the door. So this man comes in, he pulls his pants down, and he pretends as if he's going to sit on me. Okay, he pulls his pants down, he's turned around, and he has his butt like right in my face, like he's sitting down. And I completely froze, because I did not know exactly what to do, because I was not prepared for what was happening. And as I said before, as a child, this man catapulted me into a situation that I had no clue on what to do with. So he turns around, he looks at me, and he says, "Oh, you thought I was going to sit on you, huh?" And he said, "From now on, you have to lock the door." So he left, and I even remember how I felt, in that moment. Even now, I felt as if I completely did something wrong, that this whole situation was my fault. And it was solidified when I got back to my auntie's house, and I think, maybe a couple of days later, when the situation about me locking the bathroom door got brought up again, and then my auntie yells out, she goes, I can't remember what the neighbor's name was. She said, "Yeah, he said that you didn't lock the door either." And I remember even in that moment as a child and even as an adult, I was screaming out like, well, did he tell you what, that he can't, did he expose himself to me, So that left residue on me because I would get highly upset when someone would come in the bathroom with me. Like for a long time, I would close the door and I would lock the door in my house because I didn't want nobody coming in the bathroom with me. So when I went through this thing, this journey, I ain't gonna call it a thing, I'm gonna call it a journey of forgiveness. And I started to deep dive into my own situations and my own, like, people that I had to forgive. That came up because to me, that was the very first time that I was traumatized, that I dealt with some trauma. To other people, that may seem like, well, that ain't, that's not all that bad, but to me, it was. So I had to start, the more I deep dive into people who I had to forgive, it came up with more and more people. It came up with, and then some of the people that I had to forgive, it was a lot more work to forgive those people than other people. And maybe in another video, I'll deep dive more into that. But do the work and start your journey in the process of forgiving. And I guarantee you, you're going to see the rewards of the work that you're doing when it comes down to forgiving. Because where I work at, I work with a lot of different personalities, is what I'm going to say. And I had a coworker tell me the other day when we had an incident with someone being not so nice in their tone, I'm going to put it that way, so YouTube won't strike my channel. And I decided to just not say anything, My coworker, she goes, oh, you sitting there very calm. It couldn't have been me. I got to get, the last word. I got to say something. That calmness comes from me doing the work to become a forgiving person. And also me thinking to myself, I really am policing myself. So when you get on this road to forgiveness, it's very hard, and sometimes you have to do it and come back to it. I know I did. I had to start it, come back to it, and start and come back to it, and realize when I had started to forgive it and start pulling up, all of the gunk and the residue that was left from all the traumatic situations and things that happened to me, that the list got a little longer, and the hurt was starting to heal because the hurt went deeper than what I thought. The situations was deeper than I thought. Then I started to look at the people that have done things and said things, and I had to look at them and see, like, okay, guys, you see what I'm saying? That was a situation right there. I had to look at where they was at. Because sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you gotta, even when you're on your way to forgiveness, you gotta look at people and where they're at. Because most of the time, these people cannot. The reason why you were in that situation in the first place is because they could not give you exactly what it was that you needed to give, or they couldn't be the person that you needed them to be in that moment. And some people still aren't. And then that's another video. Child, I'm gonna have a lot of these videos by the time I get done. But yeah, forgiveness is not easy, but it is worth it. That road to forgiveness is a lot of work, but in the end, there's a lot of rewards to it too. So deep dive and do your own work when it comes down to forgiveness, because it is worth it. It is work, and it is needed. Anything that is extra hard, is needed. There's a purpose behind it. There's a purpose for it. Because forgiveness could be holding you back from finding, the happiness that you want. Unforgiveness could be holding you back from being in the relationship that you want. Unforgiveness could be holding you back from that potential job that you want. Unforgiveness could be holding you back from self-peace and worth and all of that, because you are holding on so tightly to your anger and to your frustration and your grief that nothing else is able to get in. So if you hold on and close yourself off so tight that nothing bad gets in, well, nothing good is going to get in either. So you're just blocking yourself off from everything. And if the bad things don't happen, how will you really appreciate the good things? Not to say that all of us is out there looking for something awful to happen to us at all. But if you never experience anything negative, you will not appreciate and recognize when something great happens to you, or when you get a wonderful blessing. You're not going to recognize it because everything's been all good. And with the things that have happened to me, I get really transparent. I'm an incest survivor, sexual abuse survivor. I say survivor, not victim. And most of the time, my godson had made a statement to me when I was sharing my story, because he was sharing some things that he went through. And I told him about some of my situations. And he said, "I'm sorry that happened to you, Mom." He said, "but I know you being the type of person that you are," he said, "you probably wouldn't take none of that stuff back because it made you who you are." And he's absolutely right. When I really got to thinking about it, I probably wouldn't take any of that back, because it did make me who I am today. And it also made me the type of person that is sensitive to other people's pain and other people's situations. And the fact that you go through things also could be there to help someone else, that you could be the voice that they need to get them through whatever it is that they're going through at the moment, because you already been through it. And you could say to them, "Hey, I know exactly what you're going through, because this happened to me. I've been through it. You're gonna come out on the other side because I did." But it all has to start with you forgiving, doing the work, coming out on the other side, and now you have a wonderful testimony for somebody else. My apostle said something to me, not to me, but in his sermon, that took on a wonderful meaning to me. He says, your test turns into a testimony for somebody else's deliverance. And I'm telling you, when that thing smacked me in my face, it got all up in the throat. And which simply means is that you're going through something for a reason, because what you're going through at this moment right now. Once you heal from it, get delivered from it, do the work, forgive, and you come out on the other side, I guarantee you're going to run into somebody that is, has, or about to go through the exact same thing that you just went through. And now you completely have the sensitivity to give them the words of wisdom to say, hey, I mean, I've been through that. This happened to me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but this is what, I did. Or you could just tell them, hey, I know what you're going through because I've been through it. If you need someone to talk to, they may be more prone to come and talk to you because they feel like, okay, they understand because they went through the exact same thing. Other than, a psychiatrist or a counselor because they feeling like, well, this is a stranger that don't know me or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that exactly is the reason why maybe that you're going through what you're going through, because on down the line you're going to meet someone who has been through, or about to go through exactly the same thing. So it does not mean that it does not have purpose, because it does. So guys, deep dive, do the work, start to unforgive. Forgive yourself first. And I guarantee that things are going to come out right. So the sun is coming up behind me, guys, and I'm going to end this video because the vision is going to be awful. But thank you for joining Carpool Confessionals. I love you guys, and remember, nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. But dreams can be turned into reality. Until next time on Carpool Confessional, guys, I will talk to you soon.